There's just no queen like a vegan queen.
Well, hello, you gorgeous bloody YouTube viewers. It's me, that there, Gemini Andro from a distant galaxy what came down here, got bumped by Putin, and then it slipped and went me fudge, and I had a...
And I'm her errant daughter, Miasma, not to be confused with miasma or similar respiratory ailments. Hiya.
How are you, me darling?
I'm alright. I'm not bad to say this weather's been like I don't know what. I'm like sat here watching it go from beautiful sunshiny morning to Stormy Daniels.
It is very strange at the moment, actually, the weather, and I know it's bothering Paul and Jason because they want to get planting. Now,
This is it.
Down there at that allotment, so they're doing a lot in the greenhouse.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, we always like to establish what is our theme today. Why are we dressed so colourfully? Well, you can see I've gone for floral, butterflies, lots of bright colours, and flowers. What does that represent?
Well,
nature.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were asking me then, love.
Miasma, green, floral, flowers, nature.
Yes.
Why nature? Well, firstly and foremost, she's about to be very kind to us and give us a wonderful summer that we all deserve, where we can hug our friends and family and actually spend time together.
Namaste.
And it's also the theme of this year's Mental Health Awareness Week, which is this week. It started on Monday, May 10th, and it runs until Sunday, May the 16th. And the theme is nature. Spending time in nature, which we all need to do a bit more of. It's so good for you. It's so healing, you know.
It really is. It really is. And what a great way, to sort of encourage people to, you've heard of the phrase, throw money at the problem. Why don't we throw flowers at the problem? Trees,
or
don't actually
leaves.
throw them. Oh, yeah,
I mean, I'd rather
absolutely.
something I can put on a sandwich.
Oh, yes, definitely. Oh, yeah, I mean,
Charlie.
I'm not Mother Teresa, I've still got needs. But,
Now, miasma.
love.
Before, I do feel I must mention that the lovely Paul, who I'm very close to, he's my heart. He did a lovely vlog to mark Mental Health Awareness Week. He often does, but this one were a cracker because it's full of tips and tricks about self-care. I'm going to link it up there. He even mentions, and very few people do, miasma, masturbation.
Oh, yes.
As part of your self-care routine. I mean, not with these on. I'm not stupid. But of course. Why wouldn't I?
Well, absolutely.
I'm a living, breathing, mature, bosomy woman. Why wouldn't I?
Well,
Why wouldn't I want to?
Absolutely. What a great way to take care of yourself as well, and to take a mental load off, Studies have shown it's dead good for you. So I'm going to come out with something really scientific then, didn't you? And all I've got is, studies have shown it's dead good for you. So there you go. But I think that is really important. I should be giving that a little watch. Oh, listen, that ASMR content.
Do you like my metal nails banging on the cap?
Sounds like the start of the Cell Block Tango, doesn't it? Pop.
Shut up a minute while I do an ASMR moment, gobhouse. Frickin' hell, learn your cues, girl.
Go on then.
Do you like this? My soft voice, my clinking, and my scraping. How about this?
Slightly less soothing on the latter there, but I enjoyed the clinking.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? I quite like these. Inspired by the gorgeous Katia, whom I adore. I saw her on a video with Trixie with finger ends on, and I went searching for them. I found these ones, and I thought, well, do you know what? I'll have them. They're
Yeah.
nice.
Be
But they
rude
only
not
fit
to.
on these. They don't fit on my thumb or my fat finger. So I thought, well, if I was ever wearing them in a show or anything, what I would do is I'd put false nails on my naughty finger and my thumb. Because it's very kind of, they're the bits you'd put together in an Eastern dance.
Ooh, see, she's thought about this.
But these three would stick out, wouldn't they?
It's a happy accident in many ways.
Exactly. Now, miasma, we've got a bloody lot to talk about this week, so I hope you're not in a rush. This is probably going to be a 2-part recording that I will have to masterly edit later. Can we watch the product placement, bitch?
I'm not doing any product placement this week apart from myself.
No, I'm just saying, can we watch it in future so Mother doesn't have to edit like a moron?
It were good
Thanks,
content
love.
though, it were good content, but well done, wasn't
So yeah, there's a hell of a lot to talk about this week. Now, should we start inwards and move outwards, or outwards and move inwards, miasma?
it? Let's start outwards and move in. I don't know why, it's just where my head's gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go to the Middle East.
Oh, yes.
And there are 2 stories to talk about. The first one I'm going to talk about, because it's in the news right now, is that Israel are yet again forcing Palestinian families out of their homes.
Yep.
They are spraying Palestinian people at the end of Ramadan at the Al-Aqsa Mosque, one of the most holy sites in Islam. Spraying them with rancid water. What I did find very telling, that there was a Sky News report about it, and the Sky News reporter was saying these people are being sprayed with rancid water and they've done nothing. I've been here, they've done nothing at all.
Yeah.
And I am so tired, miasma. It's been an issue that's been very close to my heart for a long time. Not only because I once had a lover from Lebanon, not only that. And Lebanon was, of course, pretty much flattened by Israel in the 80s. Was once known as the Paris of the Middle East.
Yeah.
But this whole Western support for Israel and their illegal settlement expansions and evictions of Palestinian people and destructions of Palestinian property and olive trees. And when the new young generation of Palestinians who've lived through all this get angry and decide to stand up and not take this anymore, the West will call them terrorists. And I am sick to the high teeth of it. Just because you have been an abused race, let's call you a race, in the past, does not give you carte blanche to abuse other races. And can we stop using fucking holy books to claim land? Can we stop? Can we just stop this shit? I mean, how do you feel about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict?
Well,
miasma?
I think to pick up on what you were saying there, love, I think a lot of the problem is what you've just said, isn't it? Is that very cleverly Israel has kind of made itself synonymous with Judaism, so that any attempt to sort of criticise or anything like that is immediately labelled anti-Semitic, which is not the case because it's not as simple as that.
Hence the destruction of our Labour Party. That's where it started.
Absolutely. You know, and I think they've been very clever in that because they know it works. And actually what that does is undermine real anti-Semitism as well.
Yes, absolutely. And
you know,
here's the thing. Israel is being anti-Semitic. Semitic means people of the sand. Semites. Yeah. The Palestinians are also Semites.
Yeah. Absolutely, you know, and it's It's also very complicated, isn't it? Because I'm so aware as well that Judaism is ethno-religious, so it is a racial group as well as a religious group. But it's like, but you can't claim that represents ultimate authority in a country full of so many faiths and creeds and colours and so on and so forth. It's a really dangerous precedent, which is why many countries in the world are no longer have that separation between church and state, because, you know, I mean, hopefully at least, people recognise that it's actually really dangerous to impose one particular set of values and then claim that it speaks for an entire nation. As we know, that's patently not true. It doesn't even speak for an entire street.
No, absolutely not. And of course, apparently a very right wing group in Israel have chosen to celebrate a very nationalist festival at the end of Ramadan. Walking and marching, and people do what they get away with.
That's very true.
People do what they get away with. It's as simple as that. Yeah. Now we have to move to Iran, and I want to get the
heartbreaking. Yeah.
I want to get the name right. Alireza Fazeli Monfared. Alireza Fazeli Monfared. 20 years old. Insert picture here. Murdered and beheaded by his fucking family in an honour killing.
I'm so glad you did those inverted commas there.
Well, there's no such thing as an honour killing. It's just a lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
If you're ashamed by one of your family members being LGBT, the problem is with you. And any family in your town, village, city, country who would shame you for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
The fact that a family would kill their own blood to garner approval from others.
It's diabolical.
I can't.
It's diabolical.
I can't.
So if you've not heard about this, people, go and check out any social media outlets or news sites, and kind of familiarise yourself a little bit with the story. Truly tragic, and I very much suspect it's. I don't even suspect. I know instinctively this is just the one that made the news.
Oh, absolutely, miasma. Absolutely, and very well said. Very important note. If your religion or your fear of shame from others in your religion causes you to kill your own family, you are evil. And as far away from religion as is remotely possible to be.
Absolutely.
And that you can't see that is one of the main problems in the world. All religions, particularly the Abrahamic, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, which all come from the same source. Yeah, it got me that, miasma, this week.
No, I'm not surprised. It's not only an attack on an LGBTQ sibling, it's also an attack on humanity. Exactly. Shared humanity. So.
And, you know, the fact that this still goes on. Anyway, rest in power, young man.
Absolutely.
And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. There's nothing more you can really say, is there? It's just...
No, we could dive into the whys and the wherefores, but that's the important thing, you know, to recognise and honour his memory. And be, as you know, we're always saying on this show, just aware. Aware is so much. It might not feel like a lot, but aware and informed is so much. Particularly when it's not just the UK as well, so it's not what immediately necessarily affects you on a daily basis, but what's going on globally. Because they're all our sisters and brothers and they siblings, you know what I mean? So an attack on one is an attack on all of us. So, yeah.
You reminded me of that Madonna song then when you said brothers and sisters.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you know that brothers, sisters,
Oh, yeah.
why can't we learn to challenge the system without living in hate? Love that song.
Lovely. Gorge.
It is a
Yeah.
beautiful song.
Beautiful song, yeah. Very pertinent.
Right. Let's talk about ear, shall we?
Oh,
do you like my
God.
new necklace, by the way?
Oh, yeah, I love it.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
Close so you can see it.
Where have
All
you
them
picked that
lovely
up from?
colours.
Beautiful.
Wish.
Oh, the Wish shop.
Paul bought it me from Wish.
Oh, he's a good one. He's a good egg. Vegan
He has
egg.
this weird thing, I'm not complaining about it. He has this thing whereby if he buys himself something, he likes to buy me something now.
I think that's lovely.
It is
really do.
lovely.
I really
I end
do.
up with loads. I end
I
up
wish
with
I
loads
was
of
like
stuff.
that. I wish I was like that with Stuart, but I'm essentially selfish, so... yeah.
The Labour Party. What the frick is going on?
What?
Kia?
I shouldn't laugh, but I'm just a bit like... It's not laughter because I think it's funny, it's laughter because I am bewildered. What on earth?
And me. And I saw a car crash interview with Kia after the results where he was just a bumbling idiot.
Yeah?
We're going to listen to the country and we're going to reconnect with the country. How? Well, we're going to reconnect with the country. How?
Yeah.
He just kept repeating the same things over and over. He's not a good leader.
No, he's not. He's rubbish.
I voted reluctantly, but wisely, I think, for Labour in Greater Manchester.
Same.
And I voted for Andy Burnham, and I voted for Greens as second choice.
Same, exactly the same. Yeah.
I'm still very, very bitter about what this country did to Jeremy Corbyn. I think, let's use Star Wars terms, he was our last best hope.
Yeah. And you know what, love? It's really telling as well, isn't it? Because I was reading up on, you know, I mean, if you're not aware, then basically Labour were decimated in the local election. Well, not completely decimated, but lost a significant number of what had previously been heartlands, most notably Hartlepool. Yeah. Which was the big kind of story that they led with. But what's really interesting is the places that did flip to Labour or retained an even stronger base were the councillors that are strongly and vocally socialist, which is really interesting. And under Keir Starmer, they lost a lot of seats that had been retained for years under Jeremy Corbyn. So it's really telling because actually they can't blame him anymore.
No.
You know what I mean? Because previously Keir's been like, Jeremy.
They couldn't bloody blame him in the first place.
No.
There was a demonisation campaign in this country, and the media and the press, all of them, were willing participants in it. They carried on this bullshit about anti-Semitism, which, I'm sorry, but Labour has just paid lip service to a load of bullshit. It was bullshit. Criticising Israel and its policies is not now and never will be anti-Semitism. No matter if Israel provides a law that says it is, because they have around the world. This is our laws about anti-Semitism. If you criticise Israel, it's anti. It's not. It's not.
No, I agree. I firmly agree, and like I said before, say it again, all you are doing is delegitimizing genuine anti-Semitism, which is a real thing that people face for your own political gain.
Absolutely. Well, those boys that I saw in this news clip in Israel that were marching through with their Israeli flags, and the other Israeli boys all wearing yarmulkes, that's how I know, on a balcony laughing and cheering that there was a fire. How much better are they than the Proud Boys in America? They're not. The Proud Boys that march down the street saying the Jews will not replace us, while the Israelis march in the streets saying every Palestinian must be gone, our land, our land. What's the difference? None.
Well,
no difference. Hate, all hate.
It's a Venn diagram, absolutely.
Learned hate.
Yeah,
as well.
no, absolutely. No hate is innate. Ooh, little phrase there. No hate is innate. It has to be taught, as they say in South Pacific. You have to be carefully taught to hate people.
You do.
You know.
You do.
Good musical, that. But
bloody Keir Starmer and all sacking Angie Rayner.
Oh, I mean, what a surprise! The working class woman's thrown under the bus.
I take full responsibility. Angie is sacked.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like
Keir is so far removed from everybody in this country. How he got the vote, I do not know.
No.
Mind you, I don't know. And I will never accept or understand what happened to Jeremy. Never.
No, it's true. I think.
But they did exactly the same. Sorry, Miasma. They did exactly the same to Bernie Sanders in America.
Yes,
same
they did.
thing.
Yeah, they did.
Bernie Sanders, socialist. And here's the rub. Here's what really pisses me off. When someone is that old and learned and achieved, and I'm not using old in a negative way there at all, and they are still so progressive and forward thinking, and we demonise them.
Yeah. I think it's on a macro level, isn't it? Which is why people that are kind of middle of the road centrists are allowed to do alright-ish, because I think sort of I don't know who I'm sort of attributing this to, but it's like we can have little bits of progress, but not too much, nothing radical. Even though most socialist things are not radical, they're just common sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the only reason Keir won the leadership thing, is because he's more of a centrist, so he's closer to, in many ways, the sort of red Tories, or as blue Labour as he's being called at the moment, which is not inaccurate.
While the Republicans and the Conservatives are perpetuating the ability of the really wealthy to continue becoming really wealthy and not paying their fair share, Jeff Bezos is having a £500 million yacht built.
Of course he is.
Now, it might be several stories and bloody huge, but it was so full of fancy things that there was no room for a helipad. So what they're doing is they're making it with a smaller yacht that fits inside it, with a helipad on it.
The ridiculousness is beyond belief.
There used to be a law in America, a tax law in America. I've heard Jen Yuga talk about it on TYT, the Young Turks, one of the only reliable news shows out there. I'll just lay that out there. Jen Yuga was talking about a law in the... I have to be honest, my asthma said I can't remember, darling, whether it was the 30s or the 50s, but what it was after your first billion, billion. You were taxed 95.1% on everything thereafter. And the country was thriving and the economics were booming and rich people were still rich and all was well with the world.
Yeah. I think that's extraordinarily kind of them, love. To be honest, if anyone got to that wage, I'd take every penny thereafter off them if I were in charge.
Yeah, because you can't even spend $1 billion these days. It's too much for one person.
People can't be allowed to hoard anything either.
I completely agree with miasma.
You what, love?
I said I completely agree, miasma.
Oh, yes.
And I also need to do my restart thing.
Oh, that's alright, love. Stay tuned.
Let's do this. Oh.
Gets in you.
Do you know I do like that?
I enjoy it.
I do enjoy it. It's like warping.
Yeah.
It's what I imagine warping on Star Trek feels like. You know, a nice tickle up your minge. Speaking of minge, so I wanted to have a talk about. I wanted to have a little chat about self-care. Now, everyone's always said to me, Gemini, you're an amazing mother, because, you know, people that have known us over the years, whilst we were running across Europe from the KGB, people that have met us and spent time with us, do know that miasma used to be a handful. I mean, she still is in her own way, bless her. But when she was a child, she was so clingy. So we're staying at this lovely place called Camp Refugi.
Oh, yes.
And thank goodness there was a lady in the tent next door to me called Fazwa. I think she was from Bangladesh. I could be wrong. She was out that way somewhere. Anyway, we got very, very close. And Fazwa says to me one day, she says, Gemini, I can't help but notice miasma is constantly, she's either hanging off your minge lips, stuck to your boob, or clinging onto your leg. There's a mud pit over there where a lot of the ladies are, you know, giving themselves a nice mud bath. Let me look after her for a bit. She says, I know you're vegans. I've got some banana milk. And, you know, go and have and you know, the guilt miasma of leaving you. Even for just an hour. But my goodness, it did me the world of good. I slathered myself in that mud, naked as a ram in a field. I was. Slathered myself.
So evocative.
In that mud. While these guys looked on. Anyway, we're lucky that I did, because once we all had mud on us in that pool, couldn't tell what colour our skin was. They're looking for a Caucasian white woman. You know, the KGB.
Oh, yeah.
And they came in the camp that very day, looking for Putin's daughter. Well, Fazwa, she got wind of it right quick. She covered you in mud and put you in a mud pit over there playing with the other kids. I was covered in mud. They couldn't see a thing. In they tottered, looking all sexy and gorgeous in the bloody tight uniforms, searching for us. Never found us. Off they tottered, carried on with my mud bath, flicked me bean, did my boobs, give them a right good soak, had an hour to myself, went back. She were on the boob before I'd even got near tent.
And I bet you were better for it, weren't you, love?
The moral of the story is, whether you're a mother or you're not a mother, a lover, a brother, a sister, a mister, a twister, whoever you are, self-care is crucial.
Yeah. I thought you were going to go...
You've got to take...
I thought you were going to go with fister then. I was like, oh, that's very important, self-care, yeah.
Oh, I should have said that, shouldn't I? Yeah. Self-care is crucial.
Yes.
I know you, miasma, spend hours and hours of every day these days doing yourself up, doing your hair, and then staring at yourself in the mirror.
I do.
And the only reason I don't object to it is because it's self-care.
It is.
And I want you to take care of yourself.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly that, you know. A little bit of something what makes you feel good really pays off in the end, doesn't it? As you were in that mud bath.
And it's very important. Do you know, I've got to stand up and show my dress, just so you get the full... There it is, look.
Lovely.
Butterflies and flowers.
Go.
Love is like a butterfly, soft and gentle as it flies.
I'd show you mine, but it's positively indecent below this camera, so...
Oh, have you got your minge out again?
Well, not so much, but it's very thin material. Look at that.
Oh dear.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no.
That's,
it's nice though.
Well, that's an act of self-care, you see. I'm round the house, you know. I'm still in the house, and I thought, well, why am I going to put on big galoshes? Why am I going to put on a snowsuit scarf? No. I'll wear something nice, what makes me feel good. So I did.
And that's what's important. And that's why this week, Mental Health Awareness Week, is a very important time for you to reflect on your own mental health. Ask yourself, how often are you happy, genuinely happy? And if it's not that often, then we need to work on that. We need to be doing more things that make us happy. A walk in nature.
Yeah.
It really can do you the absolute power of good. Just a gentle walk in nature, listening to the birds sing, looking at the flowers. This time of year now, I know it can get a bit rainy, but if you've got an umbrella, bugger it.
You'll not melt, and if you do, then you were probably not supposed to be here anyway. That's a Wicked Witch of the West reference. You know, but she's right though, nature is so healing. I had a friend once, a secret friend, you didn't really know her, Mum. Very nearly ran away to Mykonos with her, but I didn't because I've got loyalty, if nothing else. But she said, you know, if you've got a big problem in your life, she said, obviously, it can still be a problem, you know, we're not discounting anybody's worries. She said, go and look into the distance. Go and stand up somewhere high, if you can, or anywhere. Go and look at the vastness of nature. And it might not solve your problem, but it'll help you keep it in proportion.
I heard something else that had a bit of an impact on me the other day, my asthma.
Oh, go on, love.
Depression is focused in the past. Anxiety is focused on the future.
Ooh. That's quite deep, actually. I'd never thought of it like that.
It's very true though, and that's so mindfulness, being aware of the moment you're in right now, being unafraid to take a moment to be aware of the moment you're in right now. In fact, my asthma.
Oh, I like that. It's deep.
Let's.
Good.
We're just gonna focus on the moment we're in right now. There is no future. There is no past. And own all the wonderful things about yourself. If you're physically beautiful, own that. If you're a beautiful person, if you have a beautiful soul, please own that. That's such a treasure these days.
Absolutely.
Such a beautiful treasure to be able to hear someone else's story and feel, not just hear it as a story, but this is treasure. And I know that being vegan, that's already present. That's why many of us are vegan, because we thought about what the animals went through to give us the produce we used to eat and drink, and we couldn't bear that. And who could?
Yeah. Well, exactly.
Oh, my asthma.
Oof. Yes.
You've gone really, really pixely. Oh, you're back.
Oh, I'm back. Must be that
On
storm.
the Skype, you went really pixelated then.
Yeah, you did a bit.
Probably is actually.
I was like that. Oh, don't let her go. Don't let her go.
Some other things you can do as well to keep yourself grounded and to be in the moment. Take yourself a lovely hot bubble bath.
Oh, yes.
Buy yourself a vegan and cruelty-free bath bomb.
Yes.
Light a couple of candles. Play your favourite music. Choose carefully which decade were you happiest. 60s, 70s, 80s, 50s, 40s. Play some music. Remember. It's wonderful to remember. To allow yourself to feel how you felt then.
Such good advice. I love that.
Sit in a field.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There are so many things you can do
Check in.
for self-care. Get your hair done. Have a face mask. What do you do to look after yourself, Miasma?
Well, I have a face mask, and as you say, and I'm a big fan of a bubble bath, as you know. But I also like to, I know it sounds proper daft, just check in every now and then with myself, you know, just in terms of the physical things. So even if the emotional things I'm not sure about, like, where are my feet on the ground? How are they making contact with the floor? What is me in space? What does that feel like? Without judgment or anything like that. And it's really good for grounding. I know that sounds a bit daft, but it really helps me.
It doesn't sound daft at all, and don't label it as sounding daft. What you've got to do there is tell yourself that's absolutely natural and normal, and not daft at all. And the way that we promote it is by making it natural and normal. Because it is important to be in the moment sometimes, to analyse ourselves and how we feel about the world, how we feel we fit into the world, who are our connections and how do we interact with them. Do they give us the best of themselves? Do we give the best of ourselves to them?
Yeah, so important.
Do we give the best of ourselves to ourselves? There's the rub.
There you go.
Because like Paul said in that vlog I linked earlier, you can't possibly give the best of yourself to others if you're not giving it to yourself first.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think we touched on it the other week, didn't we? It's a little bit, it's like that thing where it's like the way we talk to ourselves is horrible, you know, very generally speaking. And I think we've got a key into, haven't we? If you wouldn't talk to your best friend that way, don't talk to yourself that way.
Absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have a buffer for everything now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I get a like, oh, my skin's all baggy and yet you're still gorgeous.
Yeah.
My boobs are lower, they fed a child.
Yeah. A greedy child, I might add.
You know what I mean though?
No, absolutely.
It's like, it's owning our beauty, not visually, but emotionally.
Yeah, absolutely. It's beautifully put, beautifully put. And staying in the what
Very
is.
important.
Staying in the what is, not what might be or what was, definitely.
I'm still. It's become a thing that I've been thinking about a lot. You know how depression is thinking about the past, anxiety is thinking about the future. So let's just focus on now.
Power of it.
Because we certainly can't change anything that's happened.
No.
But we can learn. We can learn from it. We can do better. We can be better for ourselves.
Yeah.
Ask yourself if you wallow sometimes in dark thoughts. Ask yourself, how does this help me? It's very important, and if it doesn't, change it.
Yeah. It's great advice.
We all have those intrusive voices telling us we're crap, not worth anything. I tell mine to fuck itself.
Yeah. Yeah. You know.
I'm like, I'm bloody lovely, me.
Yeah.
I can cook, sing, dance, do makeup, make people laugh, all stuff.
Loads of things. What a good. But she's not wrong. I'm being daft, but she's not wrong at all, you know.
It's true, isn't it? You've got to own your qualities and be proud of them.
Yeah.
They are a cultivated part of you.
Yeah.
They are what you have allowed to happen.
Yeah.
They are who you have become, who you have allowed yourself to become, and any of those things can change at any time. So if you're not happy with what you've allowed to happen or who you've allowed yourself to become, change it.
Yeah.
Be who you want to become.
One love.
Sometimes you have to start small, climbing the tiniest wall. Maybe you're going to fall. Still, it's better than not starting at all.
Beautiful.
Everybody says. I love that song.
Oh, me too. I love that. I love that. Yeah. Great show. Great show. Oh.
What's it from?
It's from Anyone Can Whistle by Stephen Sondheim.
Ah, see, I just know it from a Barbra Streisand album.
She does. I think the best version of it.
Yeah, she does. It's on either the Broadway album or Back to Broadway.
Oh yes.
Both of which are fantastic albums, by the way.
Yeah.
Really, really fabulous. So, have you got anything else you would like to portray during this lovely episode, Miasma? You know, anything else you'd like to talk about? Anything burning in your mind?
I guess, you know. Oh, look at her. Look at her. Look at her eyes. Look at her eyes. I guess, so from the 17th in the UK, the big news is hugging's allowed again, allegedly. Possibly, we're not sure.
I know.
Missed that humour.
It's scary.
Scary.
It is the rub, Miasma.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I've had my second vaccine and I've got past the 12-day point, I want us to start, you know, filming together again.
Absolutely.
But then my concern is you. Because if you've not had a vaccine and I end up carrying a non-lethal version because I've been vaccinated, do you know what I mean? And that's been the whole thing about this pandemic. You've got to think like that.
True.
You have to think about yourself and others.
Absolutely. I mean, because I'm still down the list, folks, you see, what we've been practically a fetus. So, you know, but she's right.
She's just a babby.
But little babby, really, when you think. Still hanging off that boob. Still wondering why it won't produce bananas. Little callback there to the story. But, yeah.
I get an occasional curd of cottage cheese out these days if I squeeze hard enough.
You can imagine my lunch boxes at primary school. I weren't exactly the envy of 4C. Or maybe I were.
It's wrong.
It's rotten.
It's wrong on so many levels. Well, I think these might be a standard now. I've fallen in love with them.
I love them.
But I need a false nail on my non-meditative fingers.
Like that. Like no, son. I love them though. I think they're great.
So, do you, Miasma?
Yes, love.
Do you think that Labour can recover?
I think it's going to need a paradigm shift, and I think they're going to have to win back the trust of a lot of people who have, you know, people have left the party in droves. You know, like lifelong members. So I don't think that continuing down this path is going to pay dividends. I think they need a radical rehaul. So
absolutely.
What that will look like, I do not know.
They need to get back to their roots.
Yeah, they're a bloody socialist party. Why are you lying about it? Do you know what I mean? It's just like, why are you trying to pretend you're not socialists? And there's nothing wrong with socialism. In fact, it's, in my opinion, the only sensible form of any kind of strict government would be socialism. What are you on about?
I agree.
Divs. But yeah, get him out on his ear. He's neither use nor ornament, as my nana used to say.
There we go.
Oh, look at her cat's cradle. This is the church. This is the steeple. This is Miasma, begot of that people. Look at her.
I like this.
Look at her looking. gorgeous.
It reminds me of Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Oh yes, yes,
Dream
yes, yes.
Dream Warriors. You know, the punk girl
Yeah.
who I was so in love with.
I would have put money
in
on
my
that.
dreams. In my dreams, I'm beautiful and bad.
Same energy.
Loved it.
Same energy.
So, you know, hopefully, Miasma, you'll be getting a couple of pricks soon.
Hope so.
I know you get plenty through the week, but you'll be getting a couple that actually matter soon. And we will be able to... We'll be able to send Paul and Stuart shopping for us again round all charity shops.
Thank God, because we can't appear. We're too famous, so we have to send them.
We have to send them. We have to. But luckily, they know our taste really, really well.
To be fair.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair.
To be fair, she shouted madly.
So yes.
Yeah. Fingers crossed, love. Fingers crossed.
Shall we bring this fine episode to a close?
I think we probably should, my darling, while the going's still good.
So please look after yourselves, especially your mind. You know, tell yourself positive things about yourself and your place in the world. It's very important. Practice self-care, whatever self-care might be to you, whether, you know, pampering or walking or whatever it might be. Having a little...
Strum on the old banjo. Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. Oh no, she's actually alone.
Don't buy any of these and then do.
Yeah, keep them separate, maybe.
Don't do that. We don't want any incidents. But it's been lovely catching up with you, Miasma. I am glad that we have, via way of our beautiful dresses today, we have championed nature in all of its bright, beautiful and green glory. We have urged our lovely viewers to get out there in nature and enjoy it and breathe it in, and I think that's all we could do. I will dedicate this episode to the memory of the young man we mentioned at the beginning, and say once again, may he rest in power, and may we as a human race evolve.
Beautifully put.
Because we've stopped.
Yeah.
We're racing ahead technology wise, but as people we've stopped. And it's important to continue.
I agree.
Yeah. Right, loves.
Right.
Sorry to end on a sombre ending. We do love you. We do thank you for supporting us and watching us. Please consider becoming a Patreon. We do an episode every fortnight. That might become every week. Once we get out of lockdown properly, you never know. And hopefully we'll be back to doing live shows at some bloody point this year. That would be nice.
Wouldn't it?
So we'll say goodbye for now. Oh, link to the library is open. Stuart's book channel, where he talks about books and reading and his life, answers questions and stuff. It's fun. Have a look. No, do have a look. Oh, you frozen, Miasma. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh, you've moved again. Thank goodness. I was panicking then, darling. Right. We'll see you next week.
See you soon.
No. 2 weeks. See you in 2 weeks. Bye, loves. Bye. Bye.
Bye.